All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Hornets Live, presented by American Pie Pizza. I want to say thanks to everyone here and everyone watching live on the Natural State Sports Network, and we're going to be right here at American Pie Pizza every week of the regular season talking with Hornet coaches and players. So looking forward to tonight, as Chris doesn't want to get in the show here, but that's fine. And make sure you tip the guy well. He's working hard over here for us. And also remember American Pie Pizza specials. Remember, every Tuesday night here at American Pie Pizza, it's $2 Tuesdays. Get $2 off a 14-inch pizza, and who knows what other specials Tamsy may surprise us with throughout the season. So get on over here to 9709 Maumelle Boulevard and join us for Hornets Live and $2 Tuesdays. So we've got a few more coming in as a little better crowd here tonight, Coach. And I want to say welcome to Coach as Coach Horton joins us again. And 1-0 Maumelle Hornets. How you doing tonight, Coach?
1-0. I'm doing great tonight. I appreciate you having us on again. Yeah, the crowd seems to be growing a little bit here tonight.
Yeah, pretty good-sized crowd as we're working with some speakers here. So there we go. That's better. Well, week 0 is officially in the books, and let's get into it. We're going to have some highlights playing over here to our left, so we'll try not to make Will too mad that we're not looking directly at Matt and the camera over there. But I want to get into things. As I said, 1-0 to get the season started, a big win over Sylvan Hills, a team that you guys beat last year, but a team that got hot late, was a semifinal team. So, pretty excited to get that W under our belts to start the season.
Well, absolutely. When you start the year, you want to start off on a positive note. And playing Sylvan Hills, our whole non-conference schedule is tough. But Sylvan Hills is a well-coached team. They do what they do well, and our guys answered the challenge. I was pleased with it. We weren't where we wanted to be at halftime, but the boys responded really well, and we played a really good second half.
Yeah, the second half was definitely, and we'll get into that as we go along, but I wanted to start here with Roderick Watts, his first touchdown catch of the night. Things kind of started, maybe we got started pretty quickly offensively to get on the board first, but things started a little slow getting down the field, and then Pierce was able to find Roderick on 4th and 6 as we watch it here. But talk about that and talk about that offense, the first drive of the game.
Yeah, last year we had some success running the ball up the middle, and that just wasn't there this week. Against Sylvan Hills, to their credit, they were pretty good in the box, and we know with what Roderick brings to the table, and Pierce delivers a good ball as well. We leaned on that connection twice in that drive. We were able to hit Rod on a 4th down prior to that, which got us in the red zone, and then we dialed them up again and got in the end zone there. But it was a really good first drive. We used a lot of clock and got our end result. We were trying to score on the first drive every time, and it was a good start to kind of set the tone. We were kind of hoping to build off of that.
So, yeah, definitely set the tone. You've got quite the two-headed monster going on back there at running back between Crawford and Candler. Candler ends the game with 16 carries for 74 yards. Crawford 15 for 61. Talk about just how important the running game was throughout the game.
Well, when you get a lead and you can lean on that offensive line, you got dependable running backs, you're able to shorten the game and you're able to utilize the clock to your advantage. We didn't have to take as many chances as most teams do in the second half because their defense was playing well, and we were able to lean on that running game.
So, like I said, the offense got started quick, but it seemed like maybe, we talked about the difficulty of going against this flexbone style offense. It can be a little different, especially in this day and age where it's a lot of spread. Everybody wants to spread it out. Everybody wants to try to put athletes in space. And Coach Hill wants to do something completely opposite. He wants to get everybody packed in there and then try to break some things outside, which worked out earlier. We got to see it last year with a guy by the name of Tavian Cunningham, and this year they have another guy who's fairly similar in Jahan Smith, who just seemed to find the edge a couple times. And I think one of those times, the second one, which we'll see on the highlights here, was a 3rd and 20 play. And I know Andy and I were talking on the broadcast. You said, this is a moment where we kind of want to be 3rd and 20 against a team that can't really throw the ball overly well. And then this happens for the second time. So talk about that. It was a bit of a gut punch for the defense.
Well, if you watch that highlight, he almost steps on my toe right by the sideline. Their number 10 is a really good player, and I hate to compare him to Tyreek Hill, but he's kind of got the same kind of skill set coming around the edge. And, I mean, it looked like he was going to run out of bounds, looked like he was going to run into me, and he turned on a dime and was able to tippy-toe down the sideline. I mean, that was a huge play. We seemed like we had guys in place, and we thought we had him bottled up, and he turned a corner and made a huge play out of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, in that moment, it definitely looked like that he, like you said, he was going to step out and at least end the play there, maybe get a 4th and short out of the deal, but definitely a big run there for Smith. But you guys definitely settled in, it seemed like, a little bit after that. I feel like, and you talked about this a little bit, how you had some success against them last year, being able to run up the middle, but I felt like the drive after that might have been one of the best drives of the game because you got the running game going. You were able to get your running. I think in the notes here, we had, let me get back to where I was, but I think Candler had 4 carries for 23 yards on that before the big play to Watts. But, talk about that, getting that running game going, and then opening up things a little bit more for Roderick as well.
Well, absolutely. They have to work together. We utilize our pass game to open up the run game. We can't be too predictable. And when we've got both of them working, they both go to a higher level, and so they feed off each other, if you will, just like our offense and our defense does. When our defense is playing well, our offense tends to respond. When we're running the ball well, play actions there, we tend to be able to pass the ball well. So in that drive, we got a couple first downs on the ground. Our big boys were laying on them pretty well, and then we hit them with a big pass play, and that was a heck of a catch by Roderick to stay with it and then get the end zone.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to Roderick a little bit later about that catch. Big play there. Seemed to kind of maybe turn the momentum a little bit, got you right back into the game, tied things at 14. And then right after that, it looked like, okay, we might be able to take a little control. A little bit of a big run by Smith. Smith gets up the middle, big hit on the back end of that. I think we've got that highlight as well where Smith fumbles, and we come away with that one. And if I'm remembering correctly, is this the one? I think it's Harrison's first recovery of the night. I had 2 big ones in this one. A big recovery here. Nice job following the ball and getting that and recovering that fumble with the first turnover of the season.
Well, absolutely. We've got some big hitters on our team, and a lot of times you think of secondary guys as grass eaters or coverage guys, but we've got some big hitters in the back too. Our safeties will hit you just as hard as anybody on our team, and forcing that fumble and getting the ball right there, I really wish we would have responded better offensively and capitalized on that. And that kind of, was the negative part of the first half, is that we weren't able to capitalize on that, and we actually put the defense in a worse spot coming from that ball. But those are teachable moments in week 0 play. And so in hindsight and in the future, we'd like to capitalize on that. We force a turnover and we get the ball back there. Heck, we got the ball back. They didn't score. It's not the end of the day to punt right there. It's not the end of the day to be a little bit conservative where we were at. But at the end of the day, defense makes a big play. We want to capitalize on that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think I took the time to pull the highlight of what happened next. As I have in my notes here, as we're going to see the play here. I think really the only reason I'm showing this is because I have in my notes. Let's ask the OC exactly what his decision was to go for a screen on 3rd and 2 in that situation.
Well, when you're backed up in your own territory, you've got a couple of options. You can be real conservative. You can run it. Hope you get the first, and if you do, that's great. If you don't, you punt. Or you can try to set up a big play, and what we were trying to set up was a screen play we've worked on since August the 2nd, and we just didn't sell it very good. Again, it's a teachable moment. It's week 0. We kind of stared it down. We didn't have our timing right. That's something we need to work on and get better at. But, at the end of the day, I'll raise my hand. I called it. I shouldn't have. I did that in the locker room at halftime, and, that's part of being, the play caller, too. You got to own it when you make mistakes, and I'll take full credit for that one. I shouldn't have done it.
I only bring it up because in postgame when I came down and talked to you, you said, I think I cost us a touchdown early, so I had to bring it up. But and we talk about the week 0 stuff. I mean, hey, we had our own issues throughout the thing. I think our stream dropped a couple times. So Will's looking at it like, don't remind me. But things happen in week 0. That's why you play early. You get these out of the way before we get to conference play. And it's nice. It's got to be nice, though, to have some of the hiccups, some of the issues, but still go into a 6A. I mean, a team that again, a semifinal team that was a 2-point conversion away from playing for a state title last year, and we go into their place and take care of them by 10 points.
Well, I've got the utmost respect for Sylvan Hills, their program, their coaching staff. Their kids play hard and they're coached well. To get any kind of win against Sylvan Hills week 0, I was happy about. The thing about making mistakes in week 0 is you can correct them. It's not a deal breaker. It's not something that costs your whole season. We were still able to come away with the win, largely in part of our defense and how we responded in the second half. But more than anything, we can learn from these moments. Even when I do call a bad call, sometimes the kid's going to rise up and make a good play for me. And that's part of it. We're all in this together. I'm going to do my best to make the right calls for them, and they're going to do their best to execute and do everything they can do to make the play successful.
So we talk about that too. So Sylvan Hills was able to score 4 plays later, take a 21-14 lead headed into the half, but that was it. Sylvan Hills, you talk about what the defense did in the second half. It was huge. Unfortunately, we do have the highlight of it, and I'll get Will to play it, but we lost our stream coming in. We talk about our week 0 issues. We lose the stream coming into the second half, and we missed probably the biggest play of the entire game, and that's the fumble to open the second half, and Jesse's pick or scoop and score for the touchdown. So big play there. Talk about kind of the momentum and what 16 seconds into the second half.
Well, our guys have been the whole night really. We're inserting well. When they got opportunity to make big plays, they were doing it. And this is one of those big moments that Jesse was able to come through all the way. Not just scoop it up and fall on it, but pick it up, make a football move. We had guys that were involved in the tackle get up and block. So kind of that relentless attitude that our defense has, and that's what makes it special. These guys go all the way with it, and they're dogs. They like to be called dogs, and the thing, Jesse gets on my nerves day in and day out because he's so vocal and everything like that. But he's a driving force for us. He really is. And so for him to be the guy to come up with the ball and to get that end zone right when we need it, almost on command, like starting the second half, completely flipped it. All momentum went from Sylvan Hills to Maumelle at that point, and that was such a huge play in the game.
It was a huge moment for sure. Like you said, that momentum switch was really big. What was the message at the half to the team? Obviously, I don't know. You said it, they didn't play their best, and you can give us the PG version of what the message was at half, and even the Cliff Notes version. We don't need everything, but because I can see some of your guys out here, they're like, don't tell them, Coach, don't tell them.
It has to be the PG version, but really what it was real simple. Is this is a full game. We had only played a benefit game at that point, and it was raise your hand if you thought this was going to be easy. I think that's what I started with, and it was, we saw the film. Sylvan Hills didn't have a great game in their benefit game against Greenbrier. It was raining, and I think some of our guys let their guard down, thought we were going to just kind of show up and do our thing, and and it was kind of a, raise your hand if you thought that was going to be easy, and we kind of all just came up to it. It was like, it's not easy, it's football, and so what we're going to need here is to take it to another level as far as effort goes, and as far as what we put in per play, and it was a collective effort. We're so senior led. I don't have to motivate these guys very much. They pretty much police themselves, and that's where we've tried to get. Being coach led only gets you so far, but being player led, that's when you do really special things.
And a big piece of that's got to be we talked about the adversity last week and how things started off. You guys having to travel over to Robinson every week and practice, but how much of that being self-led? You've got a lot that you rely on these guys. Obviously there's buses that go over there, but guys can they've still got to make themselves get there. So how much of that is part of that of being self-taught, self-motivated?
Absolutely. On the front end of it, me personally, I've been having anxiety issues. I've been dealing with things that you wouldn't think you'd have to deal with as a head coach in a 5A football program. But I tell you, our senior group has just embraced it. We look at it as we are given an opportunity to deal with adversity before it really matters. Before we're in conference season and before hey, we're dealing with an injury of a player that matters, and normal stuff that you deal with in a course of football season, but we're getting to deal with it out of the gate. We're getting to start off with it. We're getting able to embrace. We're going over to practice at Robinson, and we look at playing Robinson this week as kind of a home field advantage, because that's our home right now. We're practicing there just as much as they are. And so, we're just trying to own it as much as possible. And I can't thank our seniors and our junior leaders at this point just for embracing it.
So I got a little distracted here. I have to mention the stuff that's on the table here from the great folks over here at American Pie Pizza. I know right now we've got the toasted raviolis. I'm going to have Chris, though. I think he said chicken bacon ranch, but I don't know that that's what that. If that is, then Rod's going to be super happy in a minute. I could have just let him keep their other one, but Rod's got his own coming. So, but yeah, I think that's what that is. But anyway, we'll find out for sure. You can't go wrong. Hey, Chris, is that chicken bacon ranch?
No, that is the Southwest.
Southwest chicken.
Chicken bacon ranch is coming in. I'll send you.
Perfect, no problem. That'll work. So Southwest chicken, even better. So I'm going to have to grab a bite of that here in just a minute. But as Will gets ready to play the turnover video, we've talked about this a couple times with the defense. Sylvan Hills never scores again. Defense forces 3 more fumbles after the scoop and score, and 2 turnovers on downs in the second half. And I mean, so basically the second half of the game, you had four fumbles and 2 turnover on downs is all that Sylvan Hills was able to accomplish. That's got to feel really good considering this is a team that wants to control the line of scrimmage, control the ball, and control the time of possession throughout the game.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I see these guys practice every day, and I know it gets old to them that I don't let them tee off on our offense all the time. And they want to go good on good all the time. They're fearless. They want to go against the best all the time. And it's really not a shock to me to see them thrive on the field. They play at a really high level, and they really have each other's back, and they kind of feed off each other. So, when one guy makes a play, the next guy's looking to make the play the next time around.
So we'll talk a little bit, too, before we get done with this segment. We get our players up here, but we'll play this final video, see the last couple scoring plays of the game. Special teams had a good game outside of the 2-yard punt and the muff by Pace there middle of the game. Brookhagen hit a 24-yard field goal that did turn out to be the game winner, and then, of course, finish things off with the power quarterback sneak to seal the victory. That's got to feel almost as good as, like, going into the victory formation to get that score at the end.
Well, I'll talk about 2 separately. The field goal was important to me because, we were in a couple positions last year where we could get points on the board, and I wasn't in a place as a head coach that I was trusting of our field goal team. Now that we pretty much rely on seniors with this, we got a senior kicker. That was a big deal for me to see John, make that kick, dead center of the uprights, and for our field goal unit to execute that in a big moment, and to put them, put Sylvan Hills, behind the score. With the offense they run, and it's so important to stay ahead of them because it's built for a lead. And they do things uncharacteristic when you have a lead, and that kind of solidified things to have a lead at that point, and then to get the ball again and to get a couple key first downs, and then to have that opportunity to punch it in. Sylvan Hills called a timeout, and we came together, and I said, we were picked to lose by 9 in this game. We've got an opportunity to go in here and win it by 10. What do you think? And it was unanimous. We're going to run the sneak again, Coach, and we're going to push them to the back of the end zone. The O-line pretty much made the call for me. And so it was real nice to see that happen. That's a collective effort. That's a team effort, and I like to see that.
So I want to go back to one thing, too, before we finish up. So we were in a similar position early in the game on the first touchdown of the game when Watt scored 4th and 6. A little longer field goal, I think, probably would have been in the close to 40-yard range. Was it just distance, or was it a matter of, hey, we want to get 7 here?
Well, I like the matchup. We worked that particular play all week, and I felt really confident about it. I felt confident we'd protect it. I felt confident we would throw it well, and I felt confident that Rob would go up and catch it. And so that was the call right there, and then I'm glad it did.
Well, look, I'm glad the OC called that one. Good call,
I am
Coach.
Too.
All right, Coach. Well, congrats on a huge Week 0 win, 1-0. That's what matters. When we get back, we're going to be joined by our players of the game. welcome back to Hornets Live from American Pie Pizza, presented by Natural State Sports. I want to mention the official sponsor of the Maumelle Hornets, Dio Vanucci and Cornerstone Home Lending. In this real estate market, it's imperative you work with the best lenders to ensure you're in the best position possible in making an offer. So Dio and his team will ensure you have a great experience from kickoff to the closing table. Text Dio to 36260 and get your home search kicked off today. All right, so I see we got a few more. Look at that. QB1 going to join us for a little bit here, so glad to have Weston in the house with us. So joining me now are our offensive and defensive players of the game. Roderick Watts on offense and Jesse Knight on defense. Not Jesse McKnight. I'll get that right today. So whichever one of us was saying that. So Roderick, even though you're way down there, I'm going to start with you. So let's make sure we got Mike working with Roderick over there. He's on 3. You should be good. Talk for us, Roderick. Nope, still nothing.
Sorry. I can't hear him.
I don't have him either.
Y'all want us to switch for right now?
He's good.
Yeah, he's good.
2's good.
Yeah, we may just have to swap headsets.
Okay. There you go. Yeah, you can just swap spots for the moment. Audio difficulties. We will figure that out. It's got to be these cables. All right, Roderick. Test that one again.
Testing.
There, now he's there. All right, so 6 catches for 99 yards. Not a bad start to the season. Let's talk about your relationship with QB1 who just walked in the door and how that connection's grown on the offseason.
That's my boy, man, everything. Last year, before the season even ended, I was already telling him, I was like, hey, man, we got to start training. We got to go to the field every day. I'm trying to make him the best he could be every day.
Yeah. So you guys have worked hard. Obviously, it seems like that connection's there. We were talking early in the game when he overthrew you on the first one, and I looked at Andy in the booth and I said, they're going to get that, and when they do, it's going to be deadly.
Yes,
and it was, 2 plays later when you finally hit the first one?
Yeah, I knew Coach Horton was going to do it too.
Yeah.
I was like, he's going to come back with it.
You can't not. I mean, it was pretty easy to tell. You had that play set up. It was ready to go.
Yes,
so it was nice to see, and it probably feels good as a wide receiver to have that shot taken there early, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Definitely. It feels good to have the trust put in by him and my teammates too.
That's right. So that's big. I'm getting myself out of place here, but Sylvan Hills had a lot of new starters.
Yes,
so 19 in total. You guys, obviously, we've talked about this over the last couple of weeks. Your experience level is probably going to be higher than most anybody else we play this year, especially here early on. Was that inexperience something you guys thought you'd be able to take advantage of?
Oh, yes, sir, most definitely. Coach had already told us, he was like, it's going to come down to the wire, and you think they're going to be here to come out and just play with y'all. You got to bring your best, but we already knew that we had seen it before, seen many situations with the people that's out there. We could trust our guys and get the dub.
So talk a little bit about last season, the adversity of COVID, and do you think it's made you a better player this year with what you guys had to go through last year?
Oh, yes, sir, most definitely. I really like the part where we didn't get as much time as in the off season to prepare to go to the team camps, to bond with my teammates, to meet my quarterback. I came in last year like a month before the season started, so it was like ramming. I was just out there like, okay, but other than that, it was pretty much good.
So you feel like it's probably made you a little better leader out there as well?
Oh, yes, sir, most definitely. I brought BJ here. I always try to motivate the younger kids because I know how I feel. Even the ones, I always tell them, even the ones that's not playing, anybody who's listening to this, even the ones that's not playing, you matter as much as the ones who is out there getting a shine, getting a touchdown. Because I told my teammates all the time, I can't do it without y'all. I can't do anything without y'all turning up the sideline, keeping smiles on y'all face, and motivating me more.
That's got to be a good point, too. On a team that you guys, it could be easy. You've got a couple guys that are high D1. They're committed to Arkansas. And so this is a team. This isn't those two guys. This isn't Roderick Watts.
Yes,
this
sir.
isn't Jesse. This is guys from the top of the line of the roster all the way to the bottom, whether it be BJ Beats out there running people over in a JV game that we got video of. If you haven't seen the video, go to Maumelle Sports Network, and you'll find the video. Those might be y'all's pizzas. What are those? Is that a pepperoni? And chicken bacon ranch? They go right here. Pepperoni and chicken bacon ranch? No, okay, just kidding. Just kidding. They're coming, I promise. I know y'all getting hungry over there. Y'all done went through practice, haven't eaten since like noon. So we'll get some pizza. Y'all grab one of those if you want. So, but it's on its way. So we got your free pizzas coming. So,
Yes,
all right. So what's your favorite part about being a wide receiver?
My favorite part I have to say is, like I said again, the team effort. I tell my linemen all the time, but my boys back there, they already know. I always give them all the praise. Like, I can't do nothing without y'all. I just love the connection to the quarterback. He has to trust me to throw it to me. I got to trust that my linemen are going to block, because if they not blocking, it's going to get in my head. Be like, I don't know if this going to be right. I got to trust the quarterback. Got to trust my other receivers to run their routes. So I just love it. And then whenever the ball hit your hand, the anticipation, then whenever it hit your hand and you like, okay, I got it, then it's just on from there.
Then it's time to put on a show, right?
Yes, sir.
That's the fun part.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, who would be your dream scholarship offer and why?
Ooh, I'm going to say my dream, I have to say, I really don't have just number one. Anywhere, really, I'm always open to any blessing, but I don't know. That's hard.
Putting you on the spot, man. I'm putting you on the spot.
I
You don't have to commit there if they offer, but if it was just like anywhere you could go, what do you think?
I went to a couple team camps this summer, and the bigger schools that I went to, not necessarily the bigger ones, but I kind of like the campuses. So I went to Memphis and Arkansas, and I kind of like those. Oh, I like those, not a kind of.
It's nice to be on a Power 5 campus, I would assume.
I don't care. Like I said, I don't care if it's Power 5, NAIA, D2.
You just want to play.
Yes, sir, at the end of the day.
We talked about this over the weekend a little bit. You and I were messaging back and forth. And the reason I asked that question is I know that, right now it's a little tougher. We went through this with some of the basketball guys. We've talked about this at times. But, how much more difficult is it, do you think, now with this backlog of players and the craziness of COVID and everything that's going on? How much harder is it right now as far as in a recruiting landscape?
It's pretty tough out here. I'm not gonna lie. Like last year, like I said, I didn't get to go to any team camps for colleges or the team camps for the school. I was just out there fresh and trying to get exposure, trying to go work out. A lot of fields had closed, a lot of gyms. So you got to go to a field or anywhere, run. Got to get some weights at home, but it's pretty tough. Yeah, I would say it's pretty tough.
Well, we're going to get you plenty of game film.
Yes, sir.
So want to say thanks to our buddy Max Bennett. We're going to see some video here in just a little bit that our buddy Max Bennett with KTV got. And also want to say thanks to Rocktown Sports Media as well for some of the highlight clips that we got here tonight as well. So, but I'm going to let you guys switch it out real quick, and hopefully pizza's on its way. I'm going to let y'all switch out since we only got one headset, and let's get Jesse back on that headset for a minute.
Yes, sir.
Our offensive player of the game, Roderick Watts. All right, so our defensive player of the week, Jesse Knight. First off, Jesse, great game last Thursday night.
Appreciate you.
So I don't have this in my notes, but this is the great part about being live. We can just kind of say whatever sometimes. But so Coach was saying something a minute ago about you talk a lot on defense. So I've wondered, out of the few practices I've been to, I've been like, all right, who's the guy that won't shut up over there, that just wants to get in everybody's ear? And apparently that's you.
Yes, sir. I got to do that. I feel like, to me, that helped motivate my offensive players to do better. The more trash talk we talk, like, other schools not going to take it easy on them. So I feel like I'm going to get them the same treatment so we can already be practicing like if it was a game day experience.
Go, I got you. Sorry, I was watching the pizza coming. That's his? Okay. We're going to get all those pizzas here in a minute. These guys are working hard. By the way, before we move on, I want to say this too. This place is hiring, so if you guys are watching this and you're looking for a part-time job, full-time job, these guys could use all the help they can get. So come see our friends up here. Come see Tamsy and our friends up here at American Pie Pizza, and see if you can get you a job up here. I know they'll take good care of you. All right, so 13 total tackles and a fumble recovery for a touchdown. If those stats are wrong, you can blame Coach. We talked with Coach Horton earlier about the game, but I want to get your thoughts on the defense in the first half. Did you feel like it just took you guys a couple series to get comfortable against the flexbone offense?
No, I wouldn't necessarily say that because, we've been practicing that for the longest. that ain't nothing new. Sylvan Hills been running that for a little minute. I just feel like that was our first, real game as a team, so everybody was trying to just, get the feel of it and stuff like that instead of going out there going through the motion. We was just had to work as a team to get the job done.
So we'll let Will play your scoop and score video here But this really kind of seemed to be the momentum swing in the game. As it's playing up there, kind of go through it. Talk about what happened. Talk about what it felt like to get that first defensive touchdown of the year.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, I was surprised when I seen the ball on the ground. First thing that came to my head was pick it up and go to the end zone.
What was Andy wants to know? What was it like the first time when Okafor's a pretty good back, pretty big size back?
Oh yeah,
talk
he
about
was
the first
tough
time.
to take
Talk about the
down.
first time you made contact with him.
First time I went over with him, I know I'm a smaller guy, so I gotta get low and be able to bring guys down. I heard y'all over there. I know Jesse was on the receiving end of that league. I was like, man, they gonna do me like that. But no, he was a pretty good back though. We just had to work as a team. Everybody had to run to the ball. One man can't work without the other man.
That's right. Well, you guys definitely did your part in the second half for sure. After that play, the big play we just saw, defense looked locked in. What do you think the difference was?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. Coach Horton came in there going, he was in there fussing everybody. We had to get right, shake back.
Well, that's good. And that's what you want out of a coach. You get that respect out of Coach. He respects you. You guys respect him. You want to play hard for Coach. Coach Horton's an easy guy to play hard for, though, right?
Man, sometimes, sometimes.
There's nothing wrong with that. So, all right, what's your favorite part of playing safety?
I get to see everything. Like say for instance, like how, some offense, they run spread, but Sylvan Hills, they run close in, and it'd be kind of hard for us to see back there, so they'll tell us, walk down to, 7-8 yards, be able to see that. And, I got a responsibility, but I'm the strong safety, so I'll roll down a lot to be able to make the tackle. And, I don't even know. I just like coming down hitting.
Well, that's what I was waiting on. I was waiting on the safety in you to just I just want to hit.
I just want to hit. That's all. I see the ball, see the man. I just think end them.
So you guys are pretty fortunate, too. You got yourself back there, but you got another guy in Maxwell Pace. What's it like knowing you got him on the other side of you?
Oh, yeah, that him right there, that's my dog. That's my brother. I know if I miss the tackle, he going to be right there to clean it up. Man, he a good safety. He worked hard. He had an injury. He came back. He was a little nervous at first or whatever, but we just had a talk telling him one mistake that don't determine the rest of the game. He got to put that to the side. He got to keep playing. If you was to ask me, I'd say he one of the best safeties in the state.
Well, he was a name that we were definitely very aware of coming in, and he was a guy we knew to look for after a few games we got to be here with you guys for last year. So, and then you just kept showing up on screen on Thursday. Every time I turned, it was number 20 doing this, number 20 doing that. It was nonstop. So just talk about how big it was in your mind to have not only a really big game, but that team victory for you guys.
Man, that was very big. It motivated us because we had a lot of players, a lot of seniors that left us last year, and we needed some guys to step up and do the job, get the job done. And it's just a fun feeling when you out there on that football field and you ain't got to worry about nothing else but what's going on right there in front of you, football.
Well, it is football time. We got through week 0, 1-0. Got a big game against Robinson. We're going to talk to Coach Horton a little bit about that. I'll let you guys – I'm going to get Roderick back on in a minute because we got one more little – Roderick, the wide receiver over there, going to load up on a few awards tonight. So
yes, sir.
We get Roderick back over here in a minute. But talk about this game coming up against Robinson.
Against Robinson, man, all I'm going to say is I want to beat that school so bad, so many reasons. First reason that comes to the top of my head, my mom works there. My sister go to school there. And I just got to let them know. A lot of people slept on my mill this year. They had us ranked, I think, to finish 9th. We call ourselves the underdog, or at least that's what I call ourselves. So I feel like every game we go out there, we got a reason to play harder. Like, we got to prove a point to somebody, let them know we finna put the city on the map. On offense and defense side of the ball, we got great players all around.
Well, I'm looking forward to it for sure. So, fellas, we appreciate you guys joining us, and hope you're going to enjoy that pizza. I know you guys are hungry, so I'm going to let you jump on that. But we got one more award to give out, so we're going to do this little musical chairs one more time. Go ahead and let Roderick throw that headset on, and then we'll – I guess we could have. All right. All right, so we're gonna play the video here, and so this week's All-State Good Hands Catch of the Game winner is Roderick Watts with this juggling 43-yard touchdown catch. Congrats, Roderick.
Appreciate it.
Now, we already talked about this. Again, thanks to Max Bennett on the video. Good stuff there. But we kind of talked about it already. I don't guess I can ask you too many more questions about it, but unless you want to elaborate a little more on the slow-mo here.
Most definitely. I knew it.
Yeah, what was going through your head as you're bobbling the ball there?
So,
Better catch it.
Actually, the play before that, or the 2 plays before that, I had a corner, and I had ran it. I knew I could beat him.
Oh, you beat him bad, too.
And he held me, so that kind of made me mad. I'm like, okay. I know Coach Horton going to make me come back at y'all. So I'm like, let me go in and get myself ready. They gave me a post, and I had a post where I broke it across the field. So I'm lining up. I'm like, okay, when I'm lining up, I'm looking at the coverage. I'm looking at what they're going to do. I've been watching film. I already know what they're going to do. Know my dude that's on me. So I'm like, boom. I hit him stemmed him up. I broke it. When I broke it, I didn't see it on film. I mean, I didn't know in person that he had stumbled, but I seen it on film. And when I broke it, I just kept on running. I seen the ball fly up behind them big boys because I couldn't see Weston. So I seen the ball flying up. And I looked. I'm like, okay, I got to adjust a little bit. And then when I was coming down, I was like, okay, this might be a bad angle. But I'm like, I know I can get it. It hit my hands. I was running still, and I'm looking up. I'm like, hold on, the ball right here. And I'm like, oh, let me get that. Then after that, I caught it. I was like, okay, I got it. I started running, and I thought I was good, but I was, looking around, making sure. I looked to my left and seen him. I was like, oh, snap.
Well, it was a great play. I want to say thanks to Brooke Brolo, the All-State agency here in Maumelle, for bringing us our All-State Good Hands Catch of the Game. You'll be able to get that every single week. So great job there, Roderick, and congrats on that. I know they've got a little something for you, so we couldn't, but I'll get it to you this week. So
yes,
we'll get you that as well. And I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Jesse before I let you go.
Yes,
talk about this Robinson game.
Big. I say, in my eyes, one of the biggest ones we're going to have this season. We got a lot of talent on both sides of the field, both sides of our ball. We just ready to stop hitting each other, hit somebody else. It's going to be a big one. Y'all come out, support. We can't do it without the fans, cheerleaders, mamas, grandmas, churches, anything. Everybody come out. We're going to get active and show them what we got.
Say it's awesome to have the Maumelle Sports Network and to be able to broadcast the games out. We enjoy it. I have a lot of fun. It's kind of cool. Everybody wants to listen to Andy and I talk about the games, which is cool. But you made a good point there. We want these crowds. We can have crowds now.
Yes, sir.
And we still don't get a home game until October, but this is basically a home game since you guys have been practicing over there. And I'm going to say this, and I made this point I think a couple times on Thursday night. I think we out-fanned Sylvan Hills at their place, so I think we need to shoot for out-fanning Robinson at their place. I think we need to make that happen.
Yes, sir. Everybody is up here to support.
That's right. That's right. Look, we got a full house in here tonight. Really, this needs to translate to over to West Little Rock and Joe T. Robinson, or I guess we could upset them and call him Pulaski Robinson. I heard they don't like that.
We gonna save that for after.
All right, man. Well, when we get back, we'll get Coach Horton back up here, and we'll talk a little bit more about this matchup with Robinson.
My name is Brandon Aker. I'm the owner and pharmacist here at Aker Family Pharmacy in Maumelle. So here in our pharmacy, we like to focus on a hyper-personalized relationship with our patients, and that continues into our service sets. So we offer free delivery, curbside vaccinations, as well as custom compounded medications, including extended hours as well. I think you don't know the level of intimacy that you're going to get with your patients until you really get in it, and I can't imagine doing anything else.
All right, welcome back, Hornets fans, to Hornets Live from American Pie Pizza. I really hope you guys have gotten your Pizookies ordered. If you haven't, get them ordered. If you've never had a Pizookie, order it now because they are amazing. And make sure you get that in, and I'm going to have them get one in for me. Head on over to 9709 Maumelle Boulevard or head to www.americanpiepizza.net and get yours today. All right, Coach. So we go from a great 6A team in Sylvan Hills to a matchup with a great 4A team in Robinson, a team picked to win the 7-4A. How's the team responded in practice so far this week?
Well, it's been a decent experience just in the fact that we've been practicing over there. We've been saying for a while now that these are facilities that we're familiar with, and we've embraced the challenge, the adversity that comes with practicing somewhere other than your norm. And so this week, it's almost like we got home field advantage, even though it's their place, because we've been practicing there just as long as they have since August the 2nd. We look at it as it's a challenge for sure. They're a good team. And our only goal is this week, and so that's who we play Friday, and we want to get a win.
So, seemed that we came out of the Sylvan Hills game pretty unscathed on the injury side. I'm assuming if we do, won't get into too much of that. But anything that we're concerned with this week going into Robinson? So
far, we're healthy, and that's huge. Early in the season, that's what you look to be healthy. You look to get in shape, and you look to execute better. We had a pretty solid practice today. We look to have a better practice tomorrow, and as we move into Friday, we want to be playing at the best we can play. So, as I said, Hootens has predicted this Robinson team to win the 7-4A. They're going to employ a spread style this week, a little more conventional, maybe what you're looking forward or what you're used to. What challenges do you expect them to give us? They've got a lot of speed. They execute well. They've got a lot of size up front. Those are all the challenges we look forward to embracing. With our non-conference schedule and then our conference schedule, we're going to see that every week. We're going to see speed. We're going to see size. We're going to see teams that execute well. So, this is just another challenge. We can't look forward to any other week. We're looking forward to this week only, tomorrow's practice, the walkthrough that ensues on Thursday, and then the game that we play on Friday. We're trying to get a job done, and that's how we look at it.
So this is another team that returns a minimum number of starters. We saw that last week with Sylvan Hills, but only 6 returning starters, but an offense that's anchored by hog commit Marion Harris. Maybe the only guy that I've ever heard Big Baby say, no, that dude's big. When
Well, he's noticeable as far as size goes.
Yes.
And he plays both sides of the ball. You're going to recognize him, comparably speaking, to a normal-size high school player. But our guys embrace that. We've got a lot of talent on both sides of the ball, and so just playing against each other, we're used to a pretty high level of football, and so it's just a challenge. It's something to look forward to. We've kind of embraced that. We look forward to a challenge instead of we dreading it.
So I went out. I know you guys have seen film, and I don't know if you were at the game Friday night with them in PA. But one thing that kind of struck to me, and I know they've had some issues trying to kind of hone in on a quarterback. I think they went through about 3 guys in fall camp. I think I saw 2 guys go out there against PA, but it definitely looked like they were a little more efficient with 1 in the game. What do you expect from that position?
We're preparing for their offense as a whole. We're preparing for what they've done well and what they've shown to do, just as we prepare for anybody else. I mean, we honestly, it's not that big a deal who they put behind center. For us, it's about executing what we do well, making tackles in space, being where you're supposed to be, all the things about playing good defense, and we have a good defense. And then not shooting ourselves in the foot, not being undisciplined, focusing in on a lot of the small things that you do early in the season, just to make sure that you don't, put yourself in an unfavorable spot.
So PA was able to get at them quite a bit on the defensive side of the ball, or offensively against their defense. But again, that's something that we're kind of used to. PA just kind of does their thing. But after watching the game, do you feel like we can get the run game going against these guys?
Well, I think the biggest turn we can put between week 0 and week 1 is week 0, the only film we had on Sylvan Hills was them playing in a rain game against Greenbrier. And a lot of our guys saw it, saw that Sylvan Hills didn't play great that night, and saw that, Greenbrier beat them pretty well. And I think that we had the wrong mindset going into the Sylvan Hills game. Whereas you see Robinson didn't have a great night against PA, I think the turn side of that will be this week. We're not worried about what they did against PA. We're worried about what they do against us. And so we're focusing on what we do well, and as far as executing our game plan for offense and defense, and not worried about what they did last week, because that doesn't matter to us.
Well, Coach, I don't know that I have a whole lot more on that one. I don't know that we can get into too much more on Robinson. I know that you wanted to talk a little bit about the offensive line and some stuff that they've been doing. So I'll let you have the table a little bit to talk about your team and whatever you want to talk about there.
Well, I like the whole. It's starting to come to fruition. Some things we talked about in spring ball, and I kind of got a little resistance on the front end of it because it's a little different, a little outside the box. But I was talking about, hey guys, being coach-led will get us back to the playoffs again, and maybe win a game or two, but being player-led, we may go in uncharted territory. We may take this thing to a higher level, and our offensive lines really embrace this of late, especially. They're meeting at least once a week to get together, have dinner together. They're really enjoying team camaraderie and growing their personal relationships with the team, and becoming a unit, and also growing in their responsibilities for leadership. And that's such a huge thing in high school sports. Being player-led, it just goes to newer heights, and it really carries the whole team as far as what the message is and what the end goals are.
Well, it is good to see a good group of those guys in here. They're tearing up some American Pie Pizza back there, so we're excited to have them in here. And I know Tamsy's excited to be feeding an offensive line tonight.
Well, it's a good thing that she doesn't have a buffet in here, or they'd be losing money.
Might be an idea she needs to think about in the future. I don't know. We'll see if we can just get the Maumelle offensive line buffet here, and we'll just call it that and be good to go. All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate your time tonight, and I want to say a big thanks to our players of the game, Jesse Knight, as well as Roderick Watts. Appreciate you guys joining us. And we're going to wrap things up tonight from Hornets Live here at American Pie Pizza. I want to give a big thanks to American Pie Pizza for hosting us tonight. You guys make sure you come out and see them this week, and then as well as our other sponsors, Cornerstone Home Lending, Akel's Carpet One, Acre Pharmacy, PI Roofing, Allstate Brook Brolo Agency, and McClarty Nissan. For Natural State Sports, I'm Steve Henson, and this has been Hornets Live. See y'all Friday night. Go Hornets.